Section 25 of Sun, Moon, and Stars, Astronomy for Beginners. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Read by Bill Welch. Sun, Moon, and Stars, Astronomy for Beginners by Agnes Giberne. Groups and clusters of suns. He telleth the number of the stars. He calleth them all by their names. Psalm 147, line 4. We have been thinking a good deal about single stars and double stars as seen from Earth. Now we have to turn our attention to groups, clusters, masses of stars in the far regions of space. Have you ever noticed on a winter night, when the sky was clear and dotted with twinkling stars, a band of faintly glimmering light stretching across the heavens from one horizon to the other? The band is irregular in shape, sometimes broader, sometimes narrower, here more bright, there more dim. If you were in the southern hemisphere, you would see the same soft belt of light passing all across the southern heavens. This band or belt is called the Milky Way. Sometimes it is called the stellar system, or the universe. Early in this book, mention was made of the word universe as used in two senses. The more modern use of it for the Milky Way or for the particular great galaxy or gathering of stars to which our sun belongs is the smaller meaning. But what is the Milky Way? Is it made up of stars? So much we know, as the astronomer turns his telescope to the zone of faintly gleaming light. He finds stars appearing behind stars in countless multitudes, and the stronger his telescope, the more the white light changes into distant stars. Our sun we believe to be one of the stars of the Milky Way, merely one star among millions of stars, merely one golden grain among the millions of sparkling gold dust grains scattered lavishly through creation. Scattered not recklessly, not by chance, but placed, arranged, and guided each by its Maker's upholding hand. The Milky Way, the galaxy, or the universe, as it has been variously called, has great interest for astronomers. Many have been the attempts made to discover its actual size, its true shape, how many stars it contains, how far it extends. But to all such questions, the only safe answers to be returned are fenced around with perhaps and maybe. There are many very remarkable clusters of stars to be seen in the heavens, some few visible as faint spots of light to the naked eye, though the greater number are only to be seen through a telescope. Either with the naked eye or in the telescopes of varying power, they show first as mere glimmers of light, which, viewed with a more powerful telescope, separate into clusters of distant stars. The most common shape of these clusters is globular, to the eye appearing simply round. Stars gather densely near the center and gradually open out to a thin scattering about the edge. Thousands of suns are often thus collected into one cluster. The clusters are to be seen in all parts of the sky, but the greater number seen to be gathered into the space covered by the Milky Way and by the famous South Magellanic Clouds. Some of them are beautifully colored, as, for instance, a cluster in Tucson, not visible from England, the center of which is rose-colored, bordered with white. No doubt it contains a large number of bright red suns surrounded by a scattering of white suns. By some, it is supposed that many of these clusters may be other vast galaxies of stars, more or less like the Milky Way, lying at enormous distances from us. Others, on the contrary, rather maintain that such clusters, instead of being separate universes from our own, are merely lesser star systems included within our great stellar system, and probably all traveling round some one center. For the present, this must be considered an open question. But in either case, if worlds are journeying among the suns of such a starry cluster, what sights might not be witnessed by their possible inhabitants. We do not indeed know the distances between the separate suns of a cluster, which may be far greater than appears to us. Yet, on the other hand, it may well be that they are near enough together to shed bright light on all sides of a planet revolving in their midst. The planet might or might not have within view a single sun equal in apparent size to our sun as seen from Earth. Yet thousands of lesser suns shining night and day would cause a radiance which we never enjoy. No, not night. In such a world there could be no night. Worlds in the midst of a star cluster must be regions of perpetual day. No night, no starry heaven, no sunrise lights or sunset glories, no shadow mingling with sunshine, but one continual, ceaseless blaze of brightness. We can hardly picture, even in imagination, such a condition of things. Besides star clusters, there are also nebulae. The word nebula comes from the Latin word for cloud, and the nebulae are so named for their hazy and cloud-like appearance. It is not always easy at first sight to distinguish between nebulae and very distant star clusters. Both have the same dim or cloudy look. In days gone by, the star clusters were often included by astronomers under the general term of nebulae. And as with star clusters, so with many nebulae, more powerful telescopes have shown them to be great systems or collections of innumerable stars crowded together by vastness of distance. But although some nebulae are really, to a certain extent, much the same as star clusters, others are entirely different. The spectroscope, by its delicate test, proves them to consist of enormous masses of glowing gas, and not to be solid bodies at all, even in the limited sense in which we may call our sun a solid body. Whether they are on their road to become solid bodies by and by is another question. Certainly, they are not so yet. By glowing gas, I do not mean burning gas, like the gas alight at a chandelier burner. For actual burning, for being consumed and wasting away, an atmosphere such as ours is necessary. The gases which compose the outer envelopes of sun and stars, and the gases which compose the whole body of many a nebula, shine with intensity of glowing but not consuming heat, and this is termed incandescence. The number of nebulae now known amounts to thousands. They are usually divided into classes, according to their apparent shapes as seen from Earth. There are circular nebulae, oval nebulae, annular nebulae, conical nebulae, cometary nebulae, spiral nebulae, and nebulae of divers other descriptions. These apparent shapes would doubtless change greatly if we could look upon them from some other standpoint and at a lessened distance. Even when seen in more powerful telescopes, they often wear a totally different aspect. Many nebulae are believed to lie in incalculable distances, and the light which comes to us from them may have been hundreds of years upon its road. But opinions differ much on this question. Some astronomers place many of the nebulae, as a matter of probability, far outside the vast stellar system to which we belong, while others believe the most of it. Not all of the gases nebulae are included within the bounds of our own particular starry universe. Mention must be made of the great nebula in Orion. The middle star of Orion's sword handle, when carefully noted with the naked eye, can be seen to have a slightly misty aspect. This, seen in powerful telescopes, develops into a glorious nebula, one of the grandest in our heavens. It is shown by the spectroscope to consist partly of stars, partly of glowing gas, of countless suns, possibly not large in size but great in numbers, bathed in and surrounded by a stupendous mass of glowing gas, hydrogen gas, nitrogen gas, and one other gas, the nature of which we do not know. As for the size of this nebula, we are driven to conjecture, but undoubtedly it is enormous. Measurement of size is impossible where measurement of distance cannot be accomplished. It has, however, been suggested that if a ball be imagined so huge as to fill the entire circle of our Earth's annual pathway round the Sun, 1,000,000 of such vast globes of light might be less in size than the nebula in Orion. How much larger yet it may be, none can venture to say. Another famous nebula is that in Andromeda. It can be seen by the naked eye and has been sometimes taken for a comet. The spectroscope shows this nebula to be formed seemingly not of glowing gas, but of multitudinous faint stars. So it is more akin to an ordinary star cluster. Before quitting this subject, allusion should be made to the famous Magellanic clouds in the southern heavens. Sometimes they are called the Cape Clouds. They differ from other nebulae in many points, and more particularly in their apparent size. The Great Cloud is about 200 times the size of the full moon, while the Small Cloud is about 1/4 as large. In appearance, they are not unlike two patches of the Milky Way, separated and moved to a distance from the main stream. These clouds are surrounded by a very barren portion of the heavens, containing few stars, but in themselves they are particularly rich. Seen through a powerful telescope, they are found to abound with stars. The Greater Cloud alone contains over 600 from the 7th to the 10th magnitudes, countless tiny star points of lesser magnitudes, star clusters of all descriptions, and nearly 300 nebulae, all crowded into this seemingly limited space. End of section 25.